Coming up next, a special sports presentation on Comcast Cablevision, TV3 Sports. Allen Park's toughest game a year ago, a 14-10 war with Crestwood, hinged on turnover. 5 big giveaways by the Chargers. The Jags' experience and tradition won out, even though Crestwood outgained Allen Park in the game. Tonight, it's the Mega Blue opener for both teams, and possibly the championship game. Crestwood, Allen Park, next on TV3 Sports. Proudly presents the game of the week.
Gets it, hands it to Klein. Yes.
From Mark Eglin Field in Allen Park, Michigan, Comcast Cablevision presents High School Football 95, the TV3 Sports Game of the Week. Tonight's game, the Dearborn Heights Crestwood Chargers versus the Allen Park Jaguars. Hello, everybody. I'm Jay Strasner, along with Bob Zahari and Rick Chappell. We're going to bring you this Michigan Mega Blue Tilt, and this one could be for all the marbles. Yes, it's only the second game of the season, but both of these teams are favorites. We're going to see what happens, and for a look at the game, here's Bob and Rick.
Thanks, Jay. Last year, Rick, these two teams played a very close ball game, 14-10 win for Allen Park. Crestwood actually dominated that football game. They tuned up in their opening games with big blowouts to get ready for this one. How do you think they'll react coming off of blowouts?
Well, for Crestwood, very much a senior-dominated team. They have 18 seniors on this team. Many of these players played in last year's game. They lost by 4 points. They felt like they were in the game against Allen Park all the way to the end. They have looked forward to this game for a very, very long time, Bob.
This could be the year for Allen Park.
Allen Park, again, so many different offensive weapons. Josh Short, number 25, fine running back. They also have a fine tight end wide receiver in Kevin Bozak, number 16. They only have one football. They opened up last week with a romp over Southgate. This will be just a little bit better test, an important game here in the Mega Blue division, opening up the season.
That's right, Rick, and this could be for the Mega Blue title. Crestwood, Allen Park, coming up next right here on TV3 Sports.
When success seems beyond your grasp, and things don't turn out the way you planned, when you feel like giving up and running away from your problems, looking for a way to escape, there's help at the end of the line. Call the Boys Town National Hotline, 1-800-448-3000. You've got a friend at Boys Town.
We've got traffic backed up everywhere.
Come on.
Slow all the way to Maple.
I've got to get out of here.
Standing still, no apparent cause. Park Road is much slower.
What were you thinking of?
Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
How fast were
You knew you were driving too fast. So how are you going to answer their questions?
What's going to happen to Grandma?
Welcome back to Mark Eglin Field here in Allen Park for this Mega Blue clash between Crestwood and Allen Park. And Allen Park won the toss. They'll be receiving in their green uniforms. Kicking off for Crestwood will be Sean Schroeder. This kid's very good, Rick. Kid's got a great leg, and we might see him kick a field goal or two this afternoon. He's got 50-plus yard range. We'll see if they actually kick it deep, and there you see the 3 deep for Allen Park as Schroeder lines them up. The 3 deep for Allen Park: Josh Short, Mickey Susky, and Alan Hill. And if they kick it shortened into the middle, Brian Schottifer, number 40, would be the one to field that. We might see the starburst, something maybe borrowed from Marine City, something where they all basically come together, try to hide the football, and then hand it off.
Well, one thing that we've learned about Allen Park special teams in the past is they will do just about anything and also everything. What a beautiful night for football. We had rain most of the day today, but not in the last couple of hours. Field is in great shape. We're getting ready to go here for another season of high school football.
Nice crowd on hand here. Both teams coming in at 1-0. And we'll get this thing underway. I talked with the head coach of the Chargers, Floyd Carter, in his 11th year as head coach, and he told me he's not really sure whether or not he's going to let Schroeder kick it deep. He's probably going to see how good he kicked in pregame, and if he kicked well in pregame, then he'd let him boot it deep during the game. Other than that, we might see the squib, which we see so often.
That's it, let's go!
Ed Bellis, what a fantastic coach this guy is. He's been coaching for years and years. He's in his 32nd year as head coach. Check that, 32nd overall, 12th as head coach of the Jags. And we're about ready to get this thing underway. Schroeder hits it. He'll try to drive it deep. Field in the middle, and here's that starburst. And they'll all try to hide the football. Who's got it? Right up the middle, big return. Carrying the ball, Alan Hill. He's out over the 30 to about the 32-yard line, and that's very tough, even on us and our camera people up here in the booth.
Number 32, Sean Schroeder, who hustled down for Crestwood on special teams to make the hit, but Allen Park starts out on offense in real good field position.
First and 10 for the Jags. We'll give you their offense in just a moment. They start at the 32-yard line. There you see the offensive line, led by Jamal Hamoud returning and holding down the center position. We'll give you the backs in just a moment. Double tight end set. They'll pitch it back. And it's Josh Short over the left side. This defense is a swarming defense. Great team speed for Crestwood as we continue to look at the Allen Park Jags offense and their offensive backfield. Sean Grant, Alan Hill, Jacob Piazza, and Josh Short are starting in the backfield for the Jags. Sean Grant replacing their graduated quarterback of a year ago, Chris DeShetler. See the defensive line of the Chargers. And I don't know if we had a fumble or not. We do have a flag down. We'll hold on to everything.
Real sloppy start to that play. Something happened, I'm not sure. I believe there's motion on Allen Park, and that is in fact the call. It was kind of a late flag.
And procedure call goes against the Jags, so would expect a 5-yard mark off, and we'll go again. And we'll continue to look at the Crestwood Chargers and their defensive line. And they got the brothers bookending this line. They're twins, Steve and Brian Yankura. And in the middle, 3 tough, big guys. They're more physical than ever this year for the Chargers. There you see their linebackers, Philip Schroeder and Horvath. Second down and 12. Flags down again. And while we sort this out, let's give you the defensive secondary for the Crestwood Chargers. And their 3 deep is Rich Bruce, Eric Walsh, and Mike Kazmarchek. This kid is one heck of a player. He's going to be playing both ways tonight. A lot of players playing both ways for both of these teams. A few more playing both ways for the Crestwood Chargers. They only lost 3 to graduation, though, on their defense, so defensively they should be very strong. Third down now, 13. Play action, Grant rolling. He's got a man a little bit behind him maybe and dropped. intended out there for Marty Toth, and Toth normally makes the grab on a pass like that. So 3 plays, and the Jags will have to punt.
Not only was the ball behind Marty Toth just a little bit, they were also short of the first down by 3 or 4 yards. He would have had to have come up with a nice run to get the first down, but Allen Park goes 3 plays, and now a punt by Sean Grant.
Sean Grant doing the punting, averaging 30.3 yards. And back deep, our check as we have a fumble, and Eric Walsh. The Chargers on the football. They'll take over 1st and 10 at their 43-yard line. Their first possession of the football game. We'll take a look at their offensive line. Chargers look like this. And the key guy on that offensive line, their center, Mark O'Connor, very strong at the tackles, Tim Sycon and Steve Nichols. Now take a look at their offensive backfield, led by Joe Nemcheski, their quarterback, first-year starter, Rich Cruz, Sean Schroeder, and Mike Kazmarchak. Kazmarchak had 172 yards and 2 touchdowns in their first game, a win over Garden City. Run out of the eye. Schroeder, the fullback, big hole up the middle. Huge yardage, pickup of 18 yards and a first down on the first play for this Charger offense. 32, Sean Schroeder. He had a 25-yard run in his first game, and he nearly matched that on that run. 18-yard run into Allen Park territory. Here's the Jags defensive line. Bozak, John Paul Asperani moving in from a defensive end. Doug Shepard, Jamal Hamoud, and Chris Mannies. And then the linebacking core of Jim Bark, Mark Isaac, and Josh Short. He's going to play that tough Jag position. And in the defensive secondary, Mickey Susky and Mario Asperani, along with Alan Hill. A lot of experience on that defense. A couple of guys are real keys to this defense. Josh Short replacing, remember, one of the best Jags we had ever seen, Krista Shetler.
In starting both ways, a running back and also linebacker. Crestwood with a quick timeout after that long first down run by number 32, Sean Schroeder. Nothing too fancy there, Bob, just a straight up the middle playoff tackle, and it got the job done.
Here's the officials for tonight's game. Bill Rubin is from Brighton. He's the referee. The umpire, Ed Valchek from Chelsea. Head linesman Al Cheney from Ypsilanti. Line judge Dennis DeCenzo from Plymouth, and back judge Gus LaRufa from Wixom.
First down and 10 for the Chargers up at 37.
So we'll get it underway after the Crestwood timeout. Inside of 10 minutes remaining here in the first quarter, no score. Crestwood's second play from scrimmage. In Allen Park territory, Kazmarchak up the middle. More good yardage right over the center of the Jags defense. A gain of 6 on the play, second down, a short 4.
Crestwood showing early on that they're interested in running the ball between the tackles in this game, feeling they might have a little bit of a size advantage over Allen Park's front 7 on defense.
So 2nd and 4, you can basically do anything right here. The Chargers, though, didn't throw the ball much in their first ball game. They only tried 4 passes, and they were 1 for 4. Nemcheski over center out of the eye. They run a little draw play, and Marchek won't get much, maybe a couple of yards, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
Josh Short was in on the tackle along with John Paul Asperani, number 54, positioning himself at a tackle for Allen Park.
So actually, they're marking it back at right about the line of scrimmage, so really no gain on that play, 3rd down. A little over 3 yards to go. Crestwood down at the 30-yard line of the Jags on their first possession. This time, a run with a 3-back set. 2-minute motion at the same time, I think is going to be the call. No, Hold on a minute, Al Kaline.
Delay of game
penalty
is the call, unless that's the symbol when two men are in motion at the same time. At any rate, that's going to back Crestwood up, and it'll be a long third down call coming up. A team not known to pass the ball. It'll be an obvious passing situation.
The good news is for Floyd Carter and this offense, Joe Nemcheski, very tall, Rick, 6'3", 198-pound junior, has a very strong arm, and Floyd Carter likes what he's seen so far out of this kid. So they'll split receivers, go with 3rd and 8. Nemcheski under pressure, throws it short, trying to get Schroeder. Bozak in there with a big-time rush. Kevin Bozak, one of their leaders, kid's big, being recruited by Division 1A colleges, and he can do it all. We'll see him also play tight end for the Jags. Comes into this game with 6 tackles, 2 assists for the big senior. They're going to punt it. So Sean Schroeder will come in to punt it away. Under a little bit of pressure. Nobody really back for the Jags. And this is going to be a pretty good punt by Schroeder as it gets downed inside the 10-yard line. Floyd Carter told me he's going to play field position all night. If it's 4th and 1, he's going to punt it away. And he feels if they do that, and obviously don't turn the ball over, he thinks he's going to win this ball game.
Well, obviously the punt was the right call. In that case, Allen Park didn't even send a safety back to field it. They will start their second drive inside the 10-yard line here, 1st down and 10 for the Jaguars.
Looks like they've got it marked at about the 9, Rick. So this multiple offense, the offensive coordinator, Tom Hoover, brings them out. 1st and 10, they keep the ball on the ground, and Josh Short picks up their best chunk of yardage in this football game. They were pretty much snuffed on their first possession, Rick. 3 and out, and they didn't gain anything in that first possession either.
Josh Short, over 1,100 yards last year, looking to be one of the premier ball carriers in the Downriver area in this campaign.
In his first ball game this year, rushed for 163 yards, averaging 9.1 yards a carry. He had 2 touchdowns in that win over Southgate. Now keep it on the ground again. Josh Short near the 1st down. Real close. I think he might have got it. It'll depend on the spot by Bill Rubin. Jags needed to get a 1st down to get out of tough punting position. And they're going to call it 3rd and very short. Now we might expect to see a quarterback sneak, but no. Tom Hoover's going to go to his bench. He's going to bring in Jim Bart, big fullback. He'll be alternating a lot, Rick, with Jacob Piazza. We'll also see Brian Schottefer alternating with Alan Hill. Bart into the ball game as they run out of the power eye, and they'll send Hill in motion. They'll hand it short, and he's into the secondary. Nearly broke it. He tried to cut it back in, Rick. He had the 1st down and plenty more, and he got slowed down before he could keep that head of steam going.
Deception in the backfield is something that Allen Park is well known for. That time a fake inside and then coming back with Josh Short for the 1st down.
Hey, Jags side, where are you?
Jags sideline, trying to root their offense on. That's their first down of this ball game. They'll keep it on the ground again, going over the right side. I'll get maybe a yard or so. Jacob Piazza, the ball carrier that time.
Billy Koza, number 60, the first hitter there for Crestwood.
5:52 remaining here in the 1st quarter. I'm Bob Zahari along with Rick Chapo. Jay Strasser on the sideline. Beautiful football evening here at Mark Eglin Field in Allen Park. They say this is the battle for the championship. And to Alan Hill over the left side. Alan Hill with a big gainer. Finally gets bounced out of bounds in Crestwood Charger territory. They knocked him out at about the 45 of the Chargers.
Fine running by Alan Hill, number 41. At the end of that run, he really put a lick on Eric Walsh, the safety man coming up number 1 for Crestwood. Ran him over for a couple additional yards, and the Jaguars are on the march.
20-plus yards on the run for Hill.
First time the Allen Park's been into Charger territory. Deep drop and a deep throw. And it's basically a jump ball for the ball. Kazmarchuk, great coverage on Kevin Bozak. Now let's go down to Jay Stroessner.
He was being covered by number
What happens
21,
so many
Marcus
times in one of these big games, both teams come out with a case of nerves, they settle down, and Tom Hoover told us before this game that they're going to run straight football up the tackles, off the ends. They're doing it. Let's see if they can keep it up. Back upstairs.
That time, though, Jay, they tried to go upstairs and catch Crestwood cheating. Second down now and 10. And they'll keep it on the ground, and this time Allen Hill will try the right side and maybe get a yard. So this will bring up third down, and a tough call for Tom Hoover. Tom Hoover, the offensive coordinator, and Bob Martin, their defensive coordinator. You know, the head coach, Ed Bellis, veteran Hall of Fame coach. Third down and 9. Play action. That ball is just batted down. Nice defensive play there made by number 60, Rick.
Billy Koza for Crestwood in there. Grant dropping straight back, trying to throw the ball over the middle of the field. Pass got batted right down as he hit Billy Koza right in the shoulder pads. Interesting call now for the Jaguars as they're going to have the ball. It looks like a punt formation.
That's what's going to happen, Rick. Sean Grant in to do the booting. Kazmarchuk and Walsh back deep for the Chargers. Good snap. A little bit of pressure on him, but he gets it off, and a fair catch being called by Walsh. Fine job there, not letting that ball bounce. We saw that happen so often last year with teams not getting to that and rolling inside the 10. That time, a fine job as Walsh makes the fair catch, and the Chargers will start out first and 10 at the 20.
Yeah, they could have lost yardage on that exact play, Bob. That's kind of a punt. When the other team is charging a kind of a short punt, you want to make sure that you do field it in the air if you can. That's good special teams coaching for Crestwood as they start off on their second possession.
No score. Inside of 4.5 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. The Jags all over that play as Kazmarchuk can go nowhere, trying the short side of the field.
Josh Short there defensively for Allen Park. Coming up from that linebacker position, loss of about a yard on that play.
The Chargers do miss Kip Nickerson. He's their starting linebacker, and he would have alternated at fullback. He's out with a bad knee. And very good players, says Floyd Carter. Loss of 1 on the play, second down and 11. One wide out to the bottom of your screen, and he's way offside. I don't know what's going on there, but
Pat Presner, number 5 for Crestwood, was out there at a wide receiver position. Unfortunately, he moved before the rest of the Crestwood team, so that will be a 5-yard walk-off against the Chargers, putting them even farther back in their own zone.
Well, it wasn't even a pass play, Rick, and I'm sure Presner knows that you have to make sure that if you don't know the count, you wait until the ball's snapped. So obviously a little mix-up there, and we'll call it second down and 16. Chargers going backward a little bit on this possession. Their second possession of the ball game. No score in this one. Mega Blue Showdown, first league game of the year in the Mega Blue. Allen Park, Crestwood. Of course, Trenton and Melvindale and a couple other teams think they will have a say in the blue title this year. They'll pitch it back to Schroeder. He had a huge run his first time. He breaks a couple of tackles, picks up good yardage, got about 10 on the run. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot more of that guy tonight. Sean Schroeder, 5'11", 185-pound senior, plays both offense, defense. He also plays on the soccer team, Rick, and he does their kicking too.
We got a player for Crestwood down with an injury on the field right now, timeout on the field. A little bit of shoddy arm tackling by Allen Park along that far sideline that time, allowing Schroeder to get additional yardage. The player that's shaken up is Eric Walsh. He is a 5'7", 140-pound senior, listed as a wide receiver. Looks like a problem with the leg as we have a timeout on the field.
Yeah, well, Ed Bellis is not going to like that arm tackling,
If that continues to happen, I'm sure we'll have some sore ears coming out of that locker room after halftime. Bob Martin, their defensive coordinator, and trying to get over last year's tough last-second loss to Marine City. Game seen here on TV3 Sports. Of course, he had to shoulder a lot of the blame. He really shouldn't have, but that's the way he is. And if you saw that game, Marine City scored on the last play of the football game to win that. And there were at least 2 or 3 controversial calls in the ball game to set that up for Marine City. You just saw the time, 3:04 remaining here in the first quarter. Walsh still down. This Allen Park team plays their first 2 games at home, Rick, and then next week they'll be going to Annapolis for an afternoon game, 4 p.m. start. And next week, Crestwood will come home for the first time to take on Thurston. They won their first game 29-7 against Garden City. They were up 22-7 at half. And Allen Park, on the other hand, they won their first game by a score of 38-0. And they were up 22-zip after the first quarter. So both of these teams had big blowout wins in their first games. Jag defense will dig in. Their standard D is a 5-2 with a jag, but we'll see 8-man fronts and we'll see the 4-4 at times. 3-step drop, throw down the middle. Kazmarczyk breaks a tackle. And Isaac saves a touchdown. And we got a flag behind the play. Pickup of 22 on the play.
Preliminary indication that it's going to be a penalty on the Allen Park Jaguars. This play's going to count. What a big pass and run combination to Kazmarczyk
and he did not have a reception in that first ball game, so something new. And I think it was roughing the passer call. That's what Bill Rubin indicated. Good audio down there in the field. And they'll decline that penalty and take the play.
That obviously happened after Nemcheski released the ball on that fine pass play. Personal foul was declined. It's a first down for Crestwood.
Both teams with a couple of big plays in this ball game. Crestwood opened the ball game with a long run by Sean Schroeder of 18 yards. And there they did have 2nd down and 16, Rick. Now they've got 1st down out near midfield. Now hand the ball to Schroeder. He'll break a tackle or 2 and pick up 6 yards. He got blasted right at the end of that play, and he's getting up slow.
Schroeder plays like somebody that weighs a little bit more than 185, as he's a north-south runner running over people. Nice contact at the end of that play, but again, getting big yardage on that front 7 of Allen Park. Got to credit that Crestwood offensive line. They're doing a fine job right now, as Allen Park will have to figure out a way to put a stop to that. Big yardage on 1st down. They'll need about 3.
Alan Hill in the secondary looking it over. They'll run out of the eye, and then they'll set out of that. And I think we've got delay of game again. And that will be the call. A delay of game will make it 2nd down and a long 8 now.
These kind of penalties are what really age coaches in a hurry. You run these plays all day, every day in practice, and then you come out in the first quarter of a game like this with 2 delay of game calls.
So that'll make it 2nd down and 9. Both times it's come out of the same formation, Rick.
Both times it came after good gains on 1st down that have just been marched back.
Exactly.
I feel like you're starting all over again.
Beautiful night for football here. Nice crowd on hand for this one between Crestwood with the football and Allen Park. 2nd and 9. Out of the eye. And run the draw play to Kazmarczyk, and he'll pick up about 3 yards. Inside of a minute remaining here in the first quarter.
Still no score in this one. Ibaza Hari along with Rick Chapo, Jay Strasser on the field. High school football 95 right here on TV3 Sports. Third and 5. This will probably be the last play of the first quarter unless they throw an incomplete pass. He will drop. Nemcheski throwing it deep down the right side, and it's caught. Allen Hill got burned, and we saw a great arm displayed by Nemcheski as he hits his wide out for good yardage.
Rich Grews, number 10, senior receiver, 6 foot, used a little bit of that height advantage on Allen Hill that time. For a team that does not pass the ball very much, Nemcheski that time threw a beautiful ball and a long pass completion.
14-yard line, 1st and 10 Chargers.
For Crestwood.
Unofficially, it looked like a 32-yard play.
The ball itself was right on the money, a tight spiral, and covered pretty much all of that 32 yards. A nice pass and catch combination that will end the first quarter of play.
As they roll the clock after the completion and setting the chains. Played 1 quarter, no score here at Mark Eglin Field. Let's flash back now to just a year ago and what was billed as the game of the century, Trenton taking on Allen Park. This is early in the first quarter.
Seven to nothing. Now run the option. He broke a tackle. Great second effort, but the ball is knocked loose, and Allen Park is on it. Allen Park is on it. 7-0 Allen Park, and they're threatening. 2nd and goal from about the 4. Quarterback keeper, touchdown. Krista Shetler fakes it up the middle and jets to the outside for the 2nd touchdown of the ball game for the Jags, a 4-yard.
Remember to join us next week right here on TV3 Sports. The Truman Cougars take on the Southgate Anderson Titans. Next week, mega white action right here on TV3 Sports. And you know, Anderson off of that great playoff year under Jerry Lutry. Of course, they graduated 21 players off that team, so a real rebuilding year for Southgate Anderson this year. Crestwood, 1st and 10 as we start the second quarter, inside the 20. At the 14-yard line. Play action, Nemcheski gets the corner, and he's going to cut it up. Nemcheski inside the 5, down to about the 2-yard line. Great decision there by Nemcheski as he attacked the corner. Nobody's there, Rick, and he picks up big yardage and another first down for the Chargers.
Had a lot of wide open space to the far sideline and then just turned up. He looked like he had a chance to score on the play, but instead they will have the ball inside the 5-yard line, 1st down and goal.
So goal line defense in for the Jags. As the Chargers line up in the power I. Kazmarczyk goes backwards.
John Paul Asperani, number 54, big anchor in that defensive line for Allen Park, 6'2", 240-pound junior, made the hit on him that time for no gain.
And that kid last year, as a sophomore, forced a ton of fumbles, and he would have liked to have forced one there. Of course, we told you he moved inside. He was a tight end last year, and on the offensive line, he moved inside. Second down and goal. At about the 4. Flag down on the play. Nemcheski heading for the corner, and he's got it for the touchdown. A touchdown for Crestwood unless this penalty is against the Chargers. Illegal motion, the call against Crestwood, and this will bring it back.
It was kind of a funny looking shift by the backfield that time. Kind of hard to say who was shifting properly or somebody moved before the ball was snapped, but backfield in motion is going to be the call, and that's really going to help Allen Park out as Nemcheski pretty much walked into the end zone. They had the right play called that time. Had an easy little romp, and instead they'll have to go back 5 yards from the point.
So the illegal motion takes the 6 points off the board for Crestwood. And with 10:40 left, they'll try it again. They'll revert back to second down and goal from the 9. Right up the middle. Nemcheski gets tackled before he can do anything with the football.
Mike Isaac, number 50, led the way that time for Allen Park. Another loss of yardage, so Crestwood has effectively lost yardage on 3 straight plays.
Bob Martin coming with the blitz that time. Bringing his linebacker Mike Isaac, 5'8", 164-pound senior.
And 12 yards to go.
You remember him last year, he filled in and did a great job at linebacker in that playoff game against Marine City. Third down and goal. Nemcheski over the middle. Nearly picked off. Intended down there for Pat Presner. And defensed well by the Jags.
Pat Presner, the intended receiver, was a quick post pattern across the middle. Kind of not a well-advised pass. It was a little bit behind him, plus there was plenty of green shirts in the area.
So the penalty takes the touchdown off the board, and it looks like Crestwood's going to go for the field goal. They've got a very fine one, as we've mentioned, in Sean Schroeder. Kid's got 50-plus yard range. And, you know, the Stojanoviches both came out of Crestwood. Of course, beat Stoyanovich about a year or so before Floyd Carter took over, and then Floyd Carter coached Bill Stoyanovich for all 4 years. And hold on a minute here. Did we have a timeout called, or are we going to get the delay of game? We see them sorting it out. They're picking up the flag, no flag. And I think he's going to come over to the sideline and talk with Ed Bellis.
Kneeling right on the 10, the 20-yard line. It'll be a 30-yard attempt.
So Ed Bellis seemed to agree with that one. This will be spotted at the 20. It'll be a 30-yard field goal attempt by Sean Schroeder. Snap, the hold, the kick is up, and the kick is wide left.
It must have hooked wide left at the very end. It looked like it was pretty good. Good snap, good hold. Kick sails wide to the left, so Allen Park dodges a bullet, and the score of this game is still 0-0. Second quarter of play here from Mark Eglin Field High School football Friday night here on TV3.
So that penalty really comes back to haunt Crestwood. They had a touchdown taken away because of an illegal motion penalty, and they did not even get the field goal out of it.
And not very good strategy in the red zone either on their goal line series plays.
Allen Park getting mauled in the middle of that line by this Crestwood defense. They've looked very impressive defensively against a Jag offense that normally pushes people off the ball. So far in this game, they're not really winning the line of scrimmage.
They're getting a good defensive line surge. The linebackers are coming up nice on these running plays. Allen Park is going to have to open this defense up just a little bit, possibly throw the ball over the middle. Got fine receivers in Bozak, also Toth.
Out of the power eye set, Sean Grant sends him Alan Hill in motion, and he'll lead block. Josh Short will get caught before he can get back to the line of scrimmage.
Nice work by Rich Cruz, number 10 for Crestwood, coming up from his cornerback position to make the hit on Josh Short and a sure tackle for a loss of yardage. Allen Park now, again, in a third down and 12 situation. Not exactly an offensive situation they would like to be in this game. Be an interesting call now by the coaching staff.
Allen Park getting dominated so far in this game by this Crestwood defense. They did have a good drive, their second drive. They ran off 7 plays and got into Charger territory. 3rd down and 10. Thrown up, nearly picked off. Intended for Bozak and knocked down by, looks like Kip Nickerson is back.
Kip Nickerson, number 23, 5'8", 180-pound senior, almost came away with a pass interception on that play as the ball thrown high into the center of the field with not much mustard on it.
So I was told Nickerson would not start, but he's back in the lineup, so obviously his knee healed enough to play. Sean Grant back to boot it away. Kazmarchek and Walsh back for the Chargers. This will bounce at the 48 of Allen Park, and they'll down it in Charger territory at the 47.
Battle of field position thus far. Both teams kind of struggling offensively as Crestwood takes over again, 1st down and 10.
Crestwood has moved the ball each time they've had the football. Penalties have hurt them a little bit though, Rick.
Coach Bellis will no doubt want to have a talk with his offense at halftime in the locker room. Not sure that they're coming away with the same idea that he had going into this ball game. They will definitely need to regroup as they have really struggled offensively thus far.
There you see the veteran coach Ed Bellis. What a job he's done with this program. When I get a chance, I'll tell you about this playoff-making Jaguar team. Keep the ball on the ground and not get much. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Number 70 in there, Tom Teetsort, 6'6" senior. Doesn't have a whole lot of meat on him for 6'6", only 211, but he's bigger than he was last year, that's for sure. Crestwood Chargers had 356 yards total offense to 101 yards versus Garden City in their first game win. 2nd down, we're going to call it 9.5. They'll hand the ball off on a wingback around type play. Decent yardage that time for Ryan Rogowski. First time we've seen him carry the ball tonight.
And a very late developing play also. They came back with the wingback across to the wide side of the field, and then he still was able to gain the corner and get a field for nice yardage.
Yeah, Rogowski comes into the game alternating with Rich Gruz at the wingback position. Averaged 3.3 yards his first football game this year. 5'9", 170-pound junior. One of the few juniors in the starting lineup, or even in the lineup for Floyd Carter. 18 seniors on this team, and Crestwood's going to use their 2nd timeout. And that is unofficially, I have them as 2 timeouts. So 1 left for the Chargers. So part of the sideline, I think, for Allen Park getting a little bit fired up. And of course, Ed Bellis, he would never do that. Let's go down to Jay Strasser and see what he thinks about this football game.
Instead of a game of who's going to play the best football, this is starting to turn out to who is going to self-destruct the least. Allen Park unable to mount a drive, and Crestwood seemingly getting in trouble with penalties every time they get the football. This is their longest drive. We're going to see if the Allen Park defense can dig in here. Let's see if Coach Bellis can get them fired up. Back upstairs to you guys.
Yeah, the Chargers have shot themselves in the foot. They had a drive earlier, 10 plays. They had a TD called back, and then they were pushed back in a couple of consecutive plays, and then they missed a 30-yard field goal. 3rd down and 3 after the timeout. Crestwood needing to get a 1st down. Keep this drive alive. The snap is fumbled. And we'll have to wait for this call. Recovered by Crestwood, and it'll bring up 4th down. And if Floyd Carter is true to his word, and it looks like he is, he's going to punt this ball away.
Again, trying to pin Allen Park deep in their own zone. Another miscue on a key 3rd down play for Crestwood as they couldn't hang on to the ball. Needed 3 yards for 1st down instead. Allen Park sending nobody back deep to field this punt.
Sean Schroeder gets the snap and he'll boot it away. It'll hit at the 20 and bounce inside the 10 and get down inside the 10. Kind of a strange play there. Number 83, Brian Yankura, just came along and batted that down. He'd probably been a little bit wiser to just catch it.
But again, pretty good special teams work by Crestwood as Allen Park hemmed inside their own 10-yard line once again to start off first down.
They'll start at, we're going to call it their own 5-yard line. So the field position for Allen Park, first possession 32, not bad. Second 9-yard line, Rick. The third, the 20, that's all right. And now for the second time, they'll start inside their 10, this time at the 5. Sean Grant hands it off, and Chargers in the backfield. Josh Short gets caught for a couple-yard loss and only about a yard or two away from a safety.
I was going to say he doesn't have a couple more yards left.
Right.
They're going to have to go upfield this time as the loss of just about 3 yards from where they started and call it just over the 1-yard line. That's going to be where the ball is spotted. Allen Park a little bit lackluster on offense. They really need to open up some holes, use these fine, talented backs and receivers.
Well, Tom Hoover told me that this Crestwood team is probably the most physical Crestwood team they've ever played. They played some very good finesse teams, but this team just straps it on and comes at you. And we do have a penalty flag down before the snap.
And a delay call on Allen Park, which will back the ball up half the distance of the goal line, which is not much farther than where that stick is now.
The question is, how many penalties can you get before you get a safety? I wonder if there is such a rule. We're inside of 5 minutes remaining, as we saw the call there by Bill Rubin.
And Coach Hoover going out to have a talk with that offense, trying to get some type of rhythm established here. Both teams stalling themselves on drives.
I can tell you right now, no matter what happens in this first half, Rick, Tom Hoover, Ed Bellis, Bob Martin, I think there's gonna be something going on in that green and white locker room. Maybe a little discussion going on as we see Ed Bellis in his 12th year as head coach of the Jags. Listen to this. He coached the East-West All-Star team this year, and he's been coaching ever since. Of course, Krista Shuttler played on that squad this year. The East won that one. And Bellis took over in 1984. They were 8-1 in 84, 6-3 in 85, 5-4 in 86, and then it started in 87. It all started with JJ and the Electric Company. Remember that? They went 9-0 for the first time ever, made the playoffs, and they never looked back. Since then, since 92, excluding 92 when he had his bad health, Allen Park made the playoffs 5 times in a row under Bellis in 6 out of 7 years. Tom Hoover talking to his offense, and they finally got a pretty good push as just a simple off-tackle play. And that power football was good for some decent yardage. That's one of the biggest pushes we've seen the whole football game.
Kevin Bozak that time was the ball carrier, sneaking into the backfield. Nice deception by number 10, Sean Grant, but a long third down play coming up for the Jaguars as they would love to keep this drive going, get something on the board before halftime.
Pickup of about 8 yards on that carry by Bozak. Third down and 5, and they're not going to get the first down. Crestwood all over Josh Short on that one. And that'll bring up another punting situation for the Jags. So Sean Grant will drop back to punt as Josh Short comes off. He hasn't had much room. Early in the football game, he had a run of about 10 yards, and he nearly broke it. Only one deep for Crestwood as they come after Grant. He gets it away. Here's Walsh at the Allen Park 40. He'll field it and try to get outside, and he will get outside before he gets knocked out of bounds. Nearly a late hit right there, Rick. That was very close to being a late hit.
Well, I saw a little contact after Walsh was already out of bounds. Can't get over the special teams work, though, for Crestwood, as they will be starting off in outstanding field position to start this drive off in Allen Park territory.
Yeah, they'll be starting at the Allen Park 26. Obviously, their best field position of the game. First time they started in Allen Park territory.
It was a nice punt by Grant, and Walsh fielded it in the air and then went for the right sideline, gaining the sideline.
1st and 10 at the 26. 3-step drop, and they'll throw it out. It's completed. And they'll get about 10 yards on the pass to Pat Presner. Presner, 6 foot, 150-pound senior, playing the split end for this Charger offense. Clock will continue to roll. He got 9 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 1 as we approach the 3-minute mark remaining here in the first half. No score in this ball game. Allen Park, Crestwood. Crestwood on the move. Second down and 1. Thrown and picked up. Allen Hill. Can he stay in bounds? Schroeder's able to cut him down with the angle, but a great interception by Allen Hill.
Kind of an ill-advised throw that time by Nemcheski, as the ball was clearly over the intended receiver, Pat Presner. That's who he was looking for. Allen Hill comes up with the interception and heads down the sidelines. Hopefully waking this Allen Park team up here with 3 minutes to go in the first half of football. Number 41, Allen Hill, stays in the game.
Huge defensive play.
5 foot 8, 161-pound senior. Here's the pass again. Nemcheski is high and to the outside of the intended receiver, who is Presner. And here comes Allen Hill up the sidelines. First down for Allen Park as this big crowd comes to life.
Jags with a quick pitch, just short to the outside. And he'll power down the left sideline, pick up good yardage, pick up of 8, as now this crowd starts to get into this football game a little bit. They've been very, very quiet. This is one of the most quiet crowds I've ever been around here at Allen Park. Normally they're up and rooting for their Jags, but Crestwood's really shut them up.
They have turned out in big numbers again here tonight at Allen Park. Crestwood playing a fine game on the line of scrimmage thus far here at Mark Eglin Field.
2nd down, a short 2. Short with the quick pitch again. Short. Good yardage. As he picks up the first down and more. Gains about 10 yards on the play. The Jags trying to capitalize on the big interception by Allen Hill. Coming with Crestwood at the 16-yard line of the Jags.
Now's the time, offense, let's go!
Allen Park's offensive line now beginning to stand toe-to-toe with Crestwood on this drive.
1st and 10, Allen Hill up the middle. Big, huge hole. And right now, the Jags have that thing called Mo.
Getting about 10 on every running play. That's going to be close to a first down again. Very close to a first down.
The momentum quickly changing in this football game. It had been all Crestwood all first half until that interception by Allen Hill, that being the first turnover of the football game. 2nd and a short 1. Inside the 35-yard line for the Jags. Sean Grant, little out pattern. He's got his man, and he's tackled out of bounds as they go to Marty Toth, their tight end. He's got it. He's got the first down, and he stops the clock with 2:01 remaining here in the first half. Bob Zahari along with Rick Chapo, Chase Roster on the field. What could be a Mega Blue championship game, the first game in the Mega Blue this year. 1st and 10, Hill on the left side. Allen Hill holding onto it tightly. He'll get dragged down inside the 20, down at the 15-yard line.
Allen Park now inside the red zone, as they have been so good over the years once they've gotten in that area of the football field. So many different things we will expect to see, especially with a full complement of timeouts.
And Allen Park will ground the football. We still had some Chargers on the field, and I'm not really sure how that works this year. They stopped the clock with them getting a first down on that last play to Allen Hill. Obviously, that's a great new rule. You're now allowed to ground the football just like you do in the pros. Just throw it down at your feet. And obviously, Chargers did not get penalized for still having a player on the field. 2nd down and 10 from the 15. Allen Park's best drive of this game. 3rd back through. Big hole over the left side. Allen Hill down to the 5-yard line. And the clock will continue to move. Timeout will be called by Allen Park. And if it's a 3rd down play, I think it's a good call for the timeout. Of course, you'd rather use your timeouts than leave them in your pocket at halftime, so you might as well use one now and figure out what you're going to do. It looks like it is 3rd and 1.
I knew he was real close to the 1st down. I was looking for a spot of inside the 5-yard line. That would have been a 1st down. He's just outside of that. A fine wingback trap play using Allen Hill. He was lined up as the wingback to the right side. Got the ball, came back to the left. Nice wall of blockers. And Allen Park showing some offensive muscle here on this drive.
And it all started, Rick, with that defensive play by Allen Hill as he picked it off inside his own 10-yard line. And were you kind of surprised that Crestwood came out throwing the football after having the ball originally 1st down at the 26? They picked up about 9 on the first play. So they had the ball at the 17 with 2nd and 1, and they went to the air again.
It wasn't just the pass play itself, but it was the selection and the call. They had one-on-one coverage with Presner, and instead overthrew and ended up with a pass interception by the safety.
3rd down, a short one for the Jags after the timeout. We'll see what Tom Hoover comes up with. Out of the power eye. It looked like we had a procedure call. Somebody might have jumped, and it looked like it was at front for Allen Park. You never want to do that after a timeout. That's when you should definitely have everything together.
Real messy start to that play as flags flew before it ever got underway.
So both teams down in the red scoring area kind of shooting themselves in the foot with penalties. If you just joined us earlier in this game, Crestwood had a touchdown called back on a legal procedure play. And that penalty cost them because they didn't even get the 3 points later on in that drive. So it'll be 3rd down and 6. What a huge penalty.
Crestwood signaling now that they want to take a timeout, which will be their last in this half with just over a minute and a half to go.
I'd like to remind you that during halftime we're going to go back in time to a piece that the Allen Park faithful here enjoyed a few years back. We brought it out of the closet, and it's a piece on Mark Eglin, who this field is named after. You might think he's named after an athletic director, he's named after a coach, something like that, or maybe even the greatest athlete who ever played here. No, it's not necessarily that. You'll find out at halftime who Mark Eglin is and why this field is named after him. It's a perfect football night here. We're here at Mark Eglin Field in Allen Park. I'm Bob Zahari along with Rick Chapo, Jay Strasser on the field. These two teams battling it out. Crestwood has dominated most of this first half, but Allen Park finally got it together.
Chargers faced with the prospect of keeping Allen Park out of the end zone here before halftime. And a lot of times when you take a timeout at this point with the other team driving, you almost give the offense the opportunity to regroup themselves just a little bit.
Right.
After a procedure penalty on 3rd down and short. This is a big offensive play of the ball game coming up right now for Allen Park Jaguars.
Sean Grant will bring him up. 3rd down, a little over 5. They'll hand it to Hill. That was open the last time, and it's open again. Hill looks like he's got the 1st down. He's inside the 5. He does have the 1st down as he's tackled at about the 2-yard line. That was the 8th play of this drive.
Came back with the same wingback trap play to the same ball carrier again, Allen Hill, cutting back, making a nice cutback inside. They're going to spot the ball at about the 2, 1st down and goal for the green and white.
Plenty of time for the Jags, 1st and goal. Over a minute remaining. Hill in motion. Josh Short will try to bull his way ahead up the middle. Did not get in as the middle of that Charger line collapsed. They'll keep him out. And they'll probably force Allen Park to use another timeout. They will. I've got Allen Park with 1 timeout remaining.
A minute 7, so they've got plenty of time, really.
Defensive player that time was number 55, Noel Williams for Crestwood. Occupying a big section of that middle of the line in there for the Chargers was the first hitter on Josh Short.
Floyd Carter told me that along with calling all the offensive plays and the defensive plays for his team, he says that he gets a lot of help from his assistants, Charlie Reynolds, Jim Paling, Bill Bashara, and Terry Hubert. And he says they want him to make all the calls, whereas Ed Bellis, he likes to hand the power out, and that's why he lets Tom Hoover call his offense, Bob Martin call his defense. But you know what? If it's a big call, you're going to see Ed Bellis in there making that call. Right now, Jaguars with an impressive drive. This started at their own 37, Rick, and they've moved the ball all the way down to the 1-yard line of the Chargers. 9 plays it's taken them to get there, and they've really mixed it up, and suddenly their offensive line has come alive.
Crestwood had one 10-play drive earlier. Allen Park going for the goal line.
And Short gets hit in the backfield. Number 54 there, Rick.
Mark O'Connor, he's a senior, 5'11", 190 pounds, in there at a tackle position for Crestwood in the backfield. Slight loss of yardage.
So it'll be 3rd and goal at about the 2. And they did not get in. No call. And it's going to bring up 4th down.
81, Steve Yancaro, that time the hitter for Crestwood. What a big goal line stand for Crestwood Chargers. 4th down play coming up now. And Allen Park is going to attempt to kick the field goal, but I wouldn't exactly buy that, as this might be a fake.
Scott Nolan being recruited in the kick, and it's off the post. Kick is no good, and Allen Park does not cash in with 1st and goal at the 2-yard line.
But credit that the front 7 of Crestwood's defense firing out and taking charge of that line of scrimmage. A missed field goal for Allen Park. Both teams exchanging missed field goals, and this is going to be a 0-0 halftime score here at Mark Eglin Field. 2 fine football teams trying to stand toe-to-toe with each other. It's been a stalemate thus far, giving a slight edge to Crestwood.
Well, Allen Park has to be upset they weren't able to push it in from the 2-yard line. And on the other side of the ball, as you say, Crestwood has to be elated with that goal line stand.
11-play drive starting from zone 37 resulted in no points. Crestwood will just run the clock out now for this first half.
Yes. He'll just go down to one knee, run the clock, and that will do it. We played 1 half of football here at Mark Eglin Field. We got a great one going. 0-0 at halftime. Both teams hurting themselves with penalties, not able to cash in from inside the 10-yard line. And both teams also missing field goal attempts. 0-0, goose eggs on the board. Don't go away. We'll show you the story of Mark Eglin when the TV3 Sports Game of the Week continues.
Jerks. Wanna watch that? Hey! Nice stinking work.
Would you act like this at a high school game? If you were the only fan in the stands?
Nice way to play. That's beautiful.
Next time, pretend you are.
Fact. Every year, leaf burning sends tons of pollutants up into the air and is not allowed in many localities. Fact. Through composting, these same leaves will enrich our soil.
You know, Mom, composting is really easy.
Sure, it's like recycling your leaves.
And it keeps pollution out of our air. That's a fact.
For more information, contact your local cooperative extension office.
When success seems beyond your grasp, and things don't turn out the way you planned, when you feel like giving up, and running away from your problems, looking for a way to escape. There's help at the end of the line. Call the Boys Town National Hotline, 1-800-448-3000. You've got a friend at Boys Town.
With the score 0-0 at halftime, let's now enjoy the Allen Park High School marching band.
Hey, their coach is coming. Tell them we're going to get to do them.
The Allen Park's coach is coming.
You know what you got to do.
Who wants coffee?
Let's go back in time and remember the person that this field is named after, Mark Eglin. It's 20 years this year since a very special young man graced this high school football field behind Allen Park High School and walked the halls of the home of the Jags. It was 1971 and the Jags were battling for first place in the Tufts Suburban 8.
Well, you know, Mark Eglin was a very courageous football player. He was to graduate in the class of 1972, but as circumstances would have it, 9 months before he was to graduate, he was diagnosed with cancer, terminal cancer.
Allen Park head coach Ed Bellis.
He played when he found out he had terminal cancer. He played as long as he could possibly play. I've never seen so much dedication and courage and so much just sheer intestinal fortitude in a kid. He gave everything he had for football. He was in pain. He couldn't practice, but he played the last 6 games, and naturally there were 9 games. And he wanted to play in the championship game. And I thought for sure, when Coach Vidassi, I was defensive coordinator at the time as an assistant, we went down to the hospital to see him, and he says, I'll be ready, Coach. That was for the championship game. And I think we were down there on Monday, and we said, well, okay, you know, when you're ready, you come right back. And he died that Friday morning, and unbeknownst to the staff. I don't know, somehow word got back to me, and I recall I knew, and I had to keep quiet, and nothing was said until after the game was over.
But something special had only just begun. The quest by Ed Bellis and the entire coaching staff to name the field in Mark Eglin's honor.
I'm so proud of that field being named after him, and yet so many people, they say Mark Eglin Field, in Allen Park, but what does that really mean? They think in terms of, well, some politician, some school administrator, some school superintendent, an AD, an old coach. But this field is named after a football player that gave every ounce of energy and effort that he had. And I wanted people to know who Mark Eglin was, and I want to keep his memory and spirit alive. And I asked the Touchdown Club president, Don Graham, could we have a rededication program somewhere along the line, put a plaque out there. And Don Graham implemented it, and I was very pleased and very happy that all of these things have taken place.
So, prior to the opening game of the 1991 season, the Jaguar Touchdown Club organized a pregame ceremony to honor the All-League safety.
It was probably one of the most heartfelt dedication ceremonies that I've ever been to. One of the best things about it was that it was completely upbeat. It was a joy, and it was almost like a reunion of events and people, rather than a sad ceremony. It was presented by the Jaguar Touchdown Club, and it had noted dignitaries like the mayor of Allen Park, who was a former alumnus and a football player, came back to speak. We had the Presbyterian minister, Mr. David Swinehart, come in and speak and rededicate the field. We also had a nice presentation from our superintendent of schools, Mr. Michael Ferguson, who presented Mark Eglin's family with a nice memorial commemorative plaque. It was very heartfelt. The student body was well represented by its vice president of the student council, Sarah Shepard. She spoke to the events of some 20 years ago, too.
Now this beautiful granite marker lies at the north end of the football field in Mark's honor. And before every game, each Jaguar player touches the marker to pledge their commitment to Mark's memory and inspiration, all of which did not go unnoticed by Mark's mother, Celia, who wrote in a letter to Allen Park Superintendent Michael Ferguson, in part, I never dreamed that 20 years down the line, his record would still be remembered. Mark lived for sports, to which he gave his all, from Little League through 1971.
I've kept the spirit and the memory of Mark Eglin alive simply because of the true dedication and the courage that he had.
When success seems beyond your grasp, and things don't turn out the way you planned, when you feel like giving up and running away from your problems, looking for a way to escape, there's help at the end of the line. Call the Boys Town National Hotline, 1-800-448-3000. You've got a friend at Boys Town.
We've got traffic backed up.
Come on.
Slow all the way to Maple.
I've got to get out of here.
Standing still, no apparent cause. Park Road is much slower.
What were you thinking of?
Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
How fast were
You knew you were driving too fast. So how are you going to answer their questions?
What's going to happen to Grandma?
Welcome back to Mark Eglin Field here in Allen Park. Mega Blue clash between Crestwood and Allen Park. The two favorites, along with probably Trenton. I don't know if they are after their big 33-7 loss in their opening game to Wyandotte, but definitely these two teams are the teams to beat for sure in the Mega Blue. We got a 0-0 game at halftime as Allen Park comes back out onto the field. Let's take a look at the first half scoring summary. Well, you guessed it. There was no scoring, that's right. So the scoring summary, you see it right there, 0-0. Both teams missing field goals. We'll take a look at possessions. First off for the visitors from Crestwood, and their possessions look like this. Well, they had 5 possessions. Their second possession was their best one. Rick, they had that TD called back on the penalty, and they missed the 30-yard field goal. And since then, Allen Park's defense picked it up a little bit, especially after they had moved the ball inside the 20-yard line. Big interception by Alan Hill, and that started everything off. As we switch over and look at Allen Park's possessions, you'll see their 5 possessions, that it was after that interception by Alan Hill, other than like their second possession where they had a few decent runs, suddenly they put it all together, and unfortunately they couldn't push it in from the 2-yard line, and then they also missed the 9-yard field goal.
Excellent goal line stand by Crestwood's defense on that goal line. Allen Park couldn't push it in. Would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in the Allen Park locker room during halftime.
Now let's go down the field. Jay Strassner with Ed Bellis.
So I give them the first quarter, we took the second quarter.
We're going to go. Here we go right now then. I'm with Ed Bellis, the Allen Park coach. Coach, your team came out, you were ready, you told me before the game.
Yes.
What happened?
I don't know what happened. They got nervous. I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen them get so uptight. They took the first quarter, we took the second quarter, but I never seen my team get so nervous. But I still feel that we're a better team, and then we're going to come out and we're going to win.
Crestwood looked like they were ready to self-destruct in that first half, and you weren't able to take advantage. You got anything planned for the second half?
I think our kids are going to take it to them. I hope.
Good luck in the second half,
Thank
Ed.
you.
Thank you. Back upstairs.
Okay, we're ready to go. Allen Park will be kicking off to Crestwood as we get this thing going. A full moon over Mark Eglin Field here in Allen Park. The Jaguars and the Chargers clashing in this Mega Blue contest, tied up at 0. And this very strong Charger offense, a team that scored 29 points against Garden City in their first contest, will get the ball to start the second half. The only thing that bodes bad for them is maybe they only scored 7 points in their first ball game in the second half against Garden City, whereas Allen Park continued to do a little bit better. Of course, I'm sure both teams had their starters out of the ball game early in the third quarter.
Absolute perfect weather conditions here tonight at Mark Eglin Field. Allen Park, Michigan on a high school football Friday night as the Jaguars prepare to kick it off here to get the second half underway. I'm sure that they have a couple of things planned for Crestwood here in the second half.
Kicking off for Allen Park, Scott Nolan. Back deep for Crestwood, Mike Kazmarczyk and Sean Schroeder. Kazmarczyk with the burning 4.5 speed. There you see him on the left side of your screen. This guy can fly. So Allen Park's going to have to be sure tacklers on this one. Scott Nolan, this kid being recruited by Division I schools, and he kicks it normally down to about the 5-yard line. This will be the first time we've seen him kick off tonight. Kind of surprised he missed that 9-yard field goal, Rick. He had a 37-yard field goal last week in their win over Southgate. Here's a boot, and he got a lot into it. Drives Schroeder to the goal line. He'll bring it. And he'll get tackled just shy of the 20, and he rolls to about the 21-yard line.
Brian Shottifer, number 40, shot down there on special teams and made the play for Allen Park.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Crestwood Chargers at the 41. They lost 6 off of this offense to graduation, and they have a lot of players playing both ways. They went to the playoffs their only time in 1991. Unfortunately for them, they had to play Farmington Hills Harrison, the eventual state champs. First possession as Nemcheski brings them up. He'll hand the ball off, and they're not going to get much in the middle of the line as they went to Kazmarczyk.
Kevin Bozak was there
credit.
defensively. Number 16 had a little help from John Paul Asperani, 54 for the Allen Park Jags.
23, second down 9.
So gain of 1 on the play. Second down 9 for the Chargers. Their first possession of the second half. If you just joined us, no scoring in the first half. Both teams missing field goals. And Crestwood try to get it going in this second half with their first possession. Kazmarchak breaks a tackle. And he picks up an extra 5 yards, gets close to a first down on second effort.
Jamal Hamoud, number 52, looked like he had him wrapped up. Mike Kazmarchak, 5'10", 170-pound senior, broke that tackle and got much closer to the first down. He was short by less than a yard. Upcoming third down play now for the Crestwood Chargers.
Only 1 turnover in this game. That an interception by Allen Hill coming late in the first half. So it's been a pretty error-free game other than a few ill-timed penalties by both teams. Third down and 1. And they're not going to get the first down. The Jags are in the backfield, and that'll bring up fourth down. And I'm sure in a 0-0 ball game in Charger territory, we're going to see Floyd Carter boot this one away.
Defensive charge led that time by number 32, Jim Bart, one of the leaders of this defense. And once again, John Paul Asperani, number 54, in there for Allen Park. John Paul Asperani, 6'2", 240-pound junior. Lots of football to be played here at Allen Park as they are short.
Short of the first down. You just mentioned Jim Bart. Rick, Jim Bart opened the season, I believe it was the second play of the game against Southgate. He intercepted the ball and went 75 yards for a touchdown.
But 2 yards.
You can hear on the sideline, the Allen Park coach is not very happy about where the ball was spotted. And it had more to do with where the chains were spotted. They were off by almost 2 yards. Fourth down, Sean Schroeder in to kick it away. Nobody deep once again for Allen Park. And they'll line up and they'll run it. Looked like they were going to punt it.
He's moving in the backfield.
And they just tried to draw the Jags offside.
And delay of game is going to be called. Allen Park has not sent a safety back to retrieve a punt in. And the last 3 punts, now it will be a fourth down, a much longer situation. They'll probably try to set up the return.
So after the 5-yard mark off, now Schroeder will drop back to punt it. They originally looked like they were going to punt it, then they moved up as though they were going to run a play. And then they dropped back now to punt it after the 5-yard mark off for delay of game. Snapped over his head into the end zone. And this will be a safety, I believe. I believe it's a safety. Yes, it is.
And the safety is the call. So Allen Park gets on the board with a 2-pointer. Most unlikely of a situation. Looks pretty harmless to me. It's the basic punt on fourth down. Snap goes over the punter's head. And the Allen Park Jags take a 2-0 lead in the game.
What a way to get on the board, Allen Park. On a bad snap over the head of Sean Schroeder, and he tried to pick it up and then kick it, but as he went down to pick it up, he looked like he slipped. Field might be a little bit wet from the rain today, and he went down on one knee, and right then it's a safety.
Well, it wasn't this is not a base hit to left with runners on second and third, but it's going to result in 2 points anyway. Punter had no chance at all on this one. Ball went into the end zone. The safety was going to be surrendered. As soon as he went down, that is the safety right there. The attempt to kick the ball, the play is already over as Allen Park gets the 2-point safety, and then on top of that, you also get the ball. Oftentimes, the safety ends up being a 9-point play because you get such good field position after the free kick as well, as it appears that Schroeder will punt the ball for the free kick. Of course, you have the option of putting the ball down on a tee if you like. Most teams will punt it to try to get the ball to the air, get their coverage team down on it the best they can.
So 3 deep for the Jags once again. Susky in the middle between Short and Hill. And once again, Schottifer looks like he's up close in the middle. No, number 24 up close for the Jags, and that would be Laurent Markovich.
So they're going with 3 deep. Sean Schroeder will punt it away. The free kick after the safety. He'll boot this one. They'll let it drop, and it'll take a Allen Park bounce, I guess. It was heading toward the sideline. Allen Park Jags quickly on the ball. Marty Toth very wisely jumping on that football. Boy, that's even a rule I'm not sure of. Is that a free ball? Is that just like a kickoff?
No, it's not a free ball, but the thing about that one is that, again, is another punt that should probably be fielded in the air. It seemed like Allen Park had their deep receivers way out of the play.
Right.
They lined up way too deep for a punt. Even a great punt would not have reached their deep men.
Right.
So somebody in the center line of that punt return team had to catch that one.
Quick pitch it. This started working their last drive. Breaking a tackle or two is Alan Hill. Alan Hill has been by far the shining star in this football game for the Jags. He's had the best runs of the football game out of the backfield, and he also had the big interception.
Crestwood that time led on defense. Sean Schroeder, number 32, got help from Eric Walsh. Number 1, but not before first down yardage for the Allen Park Jaguars.
Pick up 12 yards on the play, 1st and 10. Hill in motion. Short's got it over the right side. He'll pick up some positive yardage before being blasted down. This Crestwood team is so adept at getting a lot of people to the ball. They use that team speed and some of the physical players that they have this year to really do a great job. And until the last 2 possessions, they had pretty much controlled this Allen Park offensive line. Allen Park now is 2nd down and 8 at the 40-yard line of Crestwood. No score. We're in the 3rd quarter here on TV3 Sports. Play action. Check that, it is 2-0. And they'll throw it to Alan Hill as they're trying to capitalize on. If you just joined us, ball was snapped over Sean Schroeder's head into the end zone. And the safety gave Allen Park the 2-0 lead, as hopefully I've just corrected myself. And then after the free kick, they got the ball at their own 46. They've now moved it deep into Charger territory.
That time had Alan Hill coming in motion to the right. They found him in the right flat, 1st down yardage.
Right around the 30-yard line. 1st and 10. Short over the right side. And he'll break off a big run. Another 1st down run for the Jags, unless he stepped out of bounds a little early. No, he did get enough for the 1st down.
Billy Koza, number 60, ran him out of bounds for Crestwood, but not before 1st down yardage. Looked like another one of those almost late hits on the outside of the sidelines as well on that one.
Tom Hoover really attacking the short side of the field on this drive. I think maybe he's found something. Maybe Crestwood defensing the wide side of the field a little more than the short side. 1st and 10 at the 17, we're going to call it. Now pitch it back, go to the short side again. Josh Short will get some pretty good yardage as this Jag drive continues.
Again, attacking that short side of the field, you just have to know that when you start respecting that something going the other way is going to happen. Crestwood, careful not to over-adjust their defense.
Well, you know, many times a coach will find something in the tapes, and he'll take that and use it, and this drive has been mostly to the short side of the field. 2nd back through, and Josh Short, and he's going to be about 3 yards short of the 1st down, and that'll bring up 3rd down. Good look at their fine senior tailback, 5'10", 203-pound senior. Rushed 18 times for 163 yards in his first ball game. The win over Southgate, averaging 9.1 yards a carry. 2 touchdowns so far this year, and he'd like to make that 3. We're going to get a timeout called with 6:56 remaining here in the 3rd quarter, and 3rd down and about a long 3 for the Jags. This one being called by Crestwood, their first of the 2nd half. So obviously Floyd Carter not liking what he's seen with this Allen Park drive. After getting the safety, they move from their 46 down inside the 20-yard line. And they're actually marking the ball just inside the 10, Rick. And I think it's a pretty good timeout right here on a big third down for Crestwood.
Of course, Tom Hoover out there talking to that Allen Park offense, figure out what they might try to go with here.
There you see our score. We're at Mark Eglin Field in Allen Park. Jace Ruster on the field, and Bob Zahari along with Rick Chapo.
Only 2 points on that scoreboard. A hard-fought contest thus far.
Rick's been helping us out here in TV3 Sports since they invented the pigskin.
And now Crestwood comes back on the field for this important third down play.
Third down and 4.
They have stopped Allen Park with a line surge early in the first half. This is their first chance in the third quarter.
A long 3 or a short 4. Allen Park looked like they were going out of the shotgun. We get the low look, out into the flat. Bozak. Did he catch it? Yes, he did. What a great grab by Bozak. He was juggling in it for the longest time. He's still down. He'll finally get up and shrug it off. But
he is just short of, just inside the 1 yard line, very close to the goal line. That time Allen Park shifted into an unbalanced line. They sent both the tackles to the left side, then came back with Kevin Bozak, fine senior, 6'4", 210-pound senior. Allen Park Jaguars knocking on the door.
First and goal at the 1. Quarterback keeper, is he in? Yes, touchdown. Sean Grant.
Number 10, Sean Grant, into the end zone.
Coming with 6:48 remaining here in the third quarter. And Allen Park now leads it 8-0, and this could be a very important extra point. Scott Nolan, 4 for 4. Check that, 3 for 3 and PATs coming into this game. This extra point could make it 9. Kick is up, and the kick is good. Drilled it right down the middle, making up for that missed field goal earlier. Obviously, this time he wasn't rushed, and he looked like his very common pool that time.
On the missed field goal attempt, I believe that the snap in the hole was a bit rushed. They needed less than a yard. Sean Grant, number 10, going to call his own number, and uses an offensive line surge, gets into the end zone. The game's only touchdown. An extra point and a safety make it 9 for Allen Park, and Crestwood no score. So Allen Park opens up a 9-point lead now in the ball game.
We have an injured Jag down. Probably one of the big plays in that drive was keeping it alive on third down. That grab by Kevin Bozak as he juggled it, made the grab going out of bounds. Now who's this?
And it's Bozak down on the field, shaken up a little bit, being attended to by the Allen Park staff. Might be just a cramp on this evening. Hope it's nothing more serious than that. But there's also an argument there, Bob, for going for 2 on that play because you're already winning by 8 points. If you go for 2 and make it, then you're up by 10. A little bit more convincingly, but 9-0 right now for the Allen Park Jags as we have a timeout on the field.
Well, the other thing is when you have a kicker that's good as Scott Nolan, when you kick that extra point and make it 9, that means that Crestwood definitely will have to score twice to beat you. Now, if you kept it at 8, they could score a touchdown, get a 2-point conversion, tie you, send you into overtime, and then maybe beat you there. So Allen Park, I think they played the right odds there. Kick the extra point. Now Crestwood's got to score a couple of times to beat them. This would be a big blow to this football team if this kid couldn't play. Kevin Bozak. Looked like he's starting to come off on his own power as he shuns the help. There you see the big senior.
And
a lot of college coaches looking at him, Rick.
And I have a feeling we'll be seeing him shortly, once again. Crestwood now with an opportunity to go back on offense. They've shown brief signs that they can move the ball against this Allen Park team. But, of course, their only scoring play of the day was called back on a penalty. They will have their opportunity now to go back on offense.
So Scott Nolan will come in to boot it. Back deep for Crestwood. Kazmarczyk along with Schroeder. Schroeder to the near side of your screen. Nolan will boot it. They'll hit it good. All the way to the goal line again. Schroeder's got it, and he'll come right back up the middle. And finally get held up by Allen Hill, and then gang tackled by a load of green.
Allen Hill playing quite a game thus far, coming up with the special teams hit.
So Crestwood takes over after a pretty good return that time by Schroeder as he got it out to the 25. 1st and 10 as Crestwood's offense, which has moved all night, will try to get moving here in the second half. I guess they've moved all night other than probably a couple of possessions in the second quarter, and their first possession of this second half they didn't move. 3 plays and out. They'll go to Schroeder. He'll pick up a couple of yards and bring up 2nd down and 7.
Tom Teetsorth, number 70 there, defensively for Allen Park. First hitter on the play. Give him a couple of yards only.
One turnover in this game, and we don't know how bad it hurt this Crestwood team, but it seems since that interception by Allen Hill, Rick, that the momentum has swung towards Allen Park. They put together their best drive after that. Their first drive of the second half, they score after the safety. 2nd and 7. Gets hit from behind, throws it down the middle, nearly picked off. Jim Bart had it, and they dropped it.
Would have been a great play if Bart could have came up with the interception. Eric Walsh, number 1, was the intended receiver.
So that'll bring up 3rd and long.
Nemcheski had plenty of heat coming from Chris Maniz, number 44, coming hard to his blind side. Got a hit on him right as he released the ball.
Let's go down the field. A quick word from Jace Roster.
You know what? I don't like this.
Well, we're going to keep it up here, I guess, as we have 3rd down and 7.
2 down 7.
Play action. Down the middle, he's got a man. He's caught, and they got the 1st down. Good, strong throw down the middle. He was wide open, number 81, Steve Yankura, one of the twins, along with his twin brother, Brian. And Steve makes a big catch. They needed a 1st down, and they got their first down in the second half on that play.
And a pressure call and pass from Joe Nemcheski that time, finding Yankura and doing a good job for Crestwood, a 1st down. They needed about 8 yards on that play and got it. So they will keep this drive alive as they approach Allen Park territory.
Nemcheski, yeah, he was under a heavy rush that time and stood right in there. 1st and 10, just out over the 40-yard line. They'll held the draw. Here's Kazmarchek. Kazmarchek with the burning speed. And he'll get knocked out of bounds. Didn't go the distance, but a big run. A 50-yard run by Kazmarchek, and he's got the Chargers in business.
Number 85, Mario Asperani, a junior, made the saving tackle. Fine run by Mike Kazmarchek as he streaked right into the center of the field. And
just a simple draw play.
Simple delayed handoff. Now look at the blocking on the inside. They kind of quick block right there. And there he goes. No Allen Park defenders. See number 85, Asperani, is the man that's eventually going to drag him down. He runs by Allen Hill. And then just a saving tackle by the junior safety, Mario Asperani.
So 1st and 10. They'll go to Schroeder, the big fullback, rumbling and bumbling. Inside the 10-yard line and inside the 5. Down to, looks like they're going to mark it at the 4, Rick.
Crestwood's running game coming to life. Offensive line blowing Allen Park out the last 2 plays. Sean Schroeder that time, 5'11" junior. 1st and goal for Crestwood.
Inside of 5 minutes remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Allen Park leading Crestwood 9-0. Crestwood knocking on the door. Trying to turn momentum in their favor. 1st and goal at the 4.
Out of the power eye. Kazmarczyk, touchdown.
Nothing fancy there, just straight ahead handoff between the tackles. And Kazmarczyk finds his way into the end zone untouched as Crestwood gets on the scoreboard finally. Of course, they had a touchdown called back because of a penalty in the first half.
And of course, that missed field goal that they had was an opportunity right now. If they would kick the extra point, they would have had the lead. Of course, Allen Park did miss scoring a touchdown late in the first half with a big goal line stand by Crestwood and also missed a field goal. Sean Schroeder in for the extra point. Kick is up, and the kick is good. And quickly striking back are the Crestwood Chargers as they put together a 75-yard drive in 6 plays. The big play in the drive, a 50-yard run by Mike Kazmarczyk, and then he takes it in from 4 yards out rather, and with the kick, it's now 9-7. Allen Park leading by that safety.
Safety now looking pretty large as it's the margin in the game so far. Straight ahead blocking inside the tackles, and no question about that. Mike Kazmarczyk, fine senior running back, 5'10", 170-pounder, finds pay dirt for Crestwood. All of a sudden, a real exciting game here at Mark Eglin Field.
And Rick, we got to see him unleash some of that great speed he has.
Took a fine pursuit angle by Mario Esperani to even drag him down on that long 50-yard run. See Kevin Bozak still being attended to on the Allen Park sidelines. They'll no doubt hope that they could get him back in time for the fourth quarter of this one.
Being directed tonight by Paul Petrucci and the TV3 Sports crew out in the truck. And Bob Zahari along with Rick Chapo, Jay Strasser. Just letting you know, Paul, if you're trying to talk with me, I cannot hear you. So, gone a little audible here. 4:16 left here in the third quarter. We got a great one going here on TV3 Sports. These two teams expected to battle for the Mega Blue title. This could well be the championship game to open the Mega Blue season. This time Schroeder keeps it on the ground.
That's good field position.
And Allen Park will start with real good field position. That one went off one of the Jags and bounced straight in the air. I think it went off a Schottifer.
And very alert play by Jim Bart, number 32, to jump on top of that one. Allen Park will start off in very good field position. Of course, they had a pretty convincing drive the last time they had the ball, resulted in a touchdown, but then Crestwood came back and did the same exact thing. So it's up to the Allen Park Go right now to reestablish themselves.
First down and 10. And they'll get a couple of yards as they continue to go to the short side of the field.
Trying that short side of the field. Very good defensive line work that time by Crestwood. They were led by Billy Koza, number 60, and they're in a tackle position.
Kevin Bozak, number 16, the Allen Park Jags. We saw him being tended to by Kevin Kachigian. He caught it on the inside of his right knee. It's doubtful whether he's going to be back in this game. Back upstairs.
Allen Park keeps it on the ground again. Allen Hill goes nowhere. So that's a big blow to the Jags lineup with Kevin Bozak out.
Chris Phillips that time there defensively for Crestwood. Had a little help from Joe Nemcheski, the quarterback, in there at a linebacker position.
Third down, 7. Sean Grant under pressure, and he's going to be sacked.
That big mo that you alluded to earlier in the game, Bob, looks like it's beginning to shift towards Crestwood's way as a fine defensive stand. Grant getting sacked that time as Allen Park has pretty much not gained a yard in this series, and they will be forced to punt once again.
Sean Grant with the snap, a good kick, spiral, and a fair catch. That was a very late call that time by Walsh, but He did get the whistle after he caught it. I think the official waited a little bit because if he took off on that, he could have gotten called a penalty. Normally you got to get that hand up a little bit earlier, but he does a nice job of fair catching that one, and Crestwood will take over 1st and 10 at 27.
It looked like he was going to have a little bit of room if he would have elected to catch the ball and run with it. Put his hand up late, made the sure-handed grab on the ball. Crestwood taking over. This game is in the hands of the Allen Park defense right now. They're going to have to come up with a stand here.
You see Floyd Carter. He has the headsets on the far side. The head coach of the Dearborn Heights Crestwood Chargers. Ball is fumbled on the snap. Who's got it? Allen Park does. This killed Crestwood last year, and so far they're hurting themselves this year with turnovers. That's their 2nd turnover in the game. They also had a bad snap that was...
Mike Isaac, number 50, came up with the football. Senior linebacker. John Paul Asperani in on the hit. So I said the Allen Park's defense needed to make a play. They have in fact done that, forced a turnover. Allen Park starting out in the Crestwood side of the football field, 1st down and 10.
1 fumble, 1 interception. 2 turnovers for Crestwood. 1st and 10. Jags go to the air, they go deep. Intended out there for number 88 for the Jaguars, Kent Gartside.
Kent Gartside, the intended receiver. Alan Hill also out in the area. Lots of air under that football, though, however.
First time we've seen Gartside.
As Sean Grant laid it up and out of reach of everybody. 2nd down and 10.
Obviously, Gartside in for Kevin Bozak, who normally would be holding down that tight end position for this Allen Park Jaguar offense. Ed Bellis told us at halftime he thought his team would come out and win this thing. Looked like they were going to maybe take charge with a 9-0 lead, but Crestwood was able to come back and score quickly to make it 9-7. Nice effort there by Josh Short.
Good, hard, tough running by number 25, Josh Short. Fine ball carriers. One thing you always notice, they always keep their legs pumping on the first contact. Never giving up on that first hit.
Allen Park taking over on this possession at the Crestwood 29 after a fumbled snap. Allen Park has yet to turn the ball over in the game. Crestwood has turned it over twice. Pitch to Alan Hill, short side again. He'll dig his shoulder in and get near a 1st down.
Suck it up, Green!
And he got enough for a 1st down. The Jags continuing to look impressive offensively in this 2nd half. It all started with their last possession of the 1st half. Since then, Allen Park has put together some really good drives.
Let's go, line!
First and 10. Inside the 20 at about the 16. Josh Short over the right side. Powers ahead down to the 11.
Nemcheski there defensively for Crestwood. Got Josh Short inside.
Pick up 4 yards on the play. 2nd and 6. Ed Bellis got the hat off. That means he means business. On the sideline looking over the situation. When the hat comes off, he's concerned. Josh Short again. He'll pick up a couple more, and it'll bring up a big 3rd down call for Tom Hoover.
Allen Park's 3rd trip to the red zone in this game. Of course, they were snake bit at the other end. Unable to score on a missed field goal. They have 1 touchdown to show for it.
Now that might have been the last play of the 3rd quarter, and I think it is. That will be the last play of the 3rd quarter as the clock winds down, and we'll head into the 4th quarter. We've got 1 quarter left. You never know, maybe more, as anything can happen here on TV3 Sports when you have 2 teams like this. Allen Park, Crestwood slugging it out. The Jags lead the Chargers 9-7 as we head in to the 4th quarter. Now let's flash back once again to that Trenton Allen Park game of a year ago.
Here's a throw to the far corner of the end zone. Jump ball time. Touchdown! Kevin Bozak goes up, makes the play, out jumping the defender for the touchdown. 20-yard TD pass coming with only 24 seconds remaining in the first half.
Kevin Bozak is 6'4", 194-pound junior.
Remember to join us here on TV3 Sports for our game of the week next week. The Taylor Truman Cougars versus Southgate Anderson Titans. Mega white action right here on TV3 Sports. Right here at Mark Eglin Field, we got a great one going. Allen Park marching, trying to answer an excellent Crestwood drive. Crestwood putting together a 75-yard drive in 6th place to make it a 9-7 game. They trail by 2, but Allen Park facing 3rd down, about 3. Over the left side, Josh Short, he's got the first down inside the 5-yard line.
First down and goal for the Jaguars once again. Straight ahead blocking, credit that offensive line. Short is a little bit shaken up on that play. He's still down, and they're going to be calling on the trainer.
This is something we don't want to see. This would be another huge blow to this Allen Park team. They've already lost Kevin Bozak for the night, it looks like, as he's got a bad knee. And of course, with Josh Short down, Allen Park would be a little bit short in the backfield, no pun intended, because I mean, where do you go from there? They're already missing a very fine, we'll see sometime here in the future. Kid's name is John Breyer. He's a 5'5" junior, only weighs 145, but he's in the mold of Ryan Michaels. We'll get to see him, but he got hurt. And Josh Short's up.
I didn't get a good chance to see what happened to him on the way down. He carried the ball inside the 5-yard line, went down in a pile of bodies, which is always dangerous. You never know what could possibly happen. Possibly just had the wind knocked out of him. Josh Short will be back in this ball game. But in the meantime, Allen Park has a first down and goal to open this 4th quarter play.
First and goal over the left side. Looked like they went to Allen Hill, and he didn't get much. Ryan Schottefer in the backfield on that play for the Jags. Can Crestwood come up with another goal line stand? They did it earlier to the Jags, as the Jags put together their best drive of the night in the first half on their last possession. 11 plays, they got stopped down at the 1-yard line, and then they missed a 9-yard field goal to top it all off. Right now here, it's 2nd down and goal from just outside the 2. Grant throws back, caught, touchdown. Marty Toth.
Number 82, Marty Toth, the 6'1" senior, comes up with the pass from Sean Grant for the Jaguar touchdown as Allen Park extends their lead.
That coming with 11-12 remaining here in the 4th quarter. So the touchdown makes it 15-7. And Scott Nolan will come in to attempt the extra point as they line up in the Captain Jack formation. Will they go for 2 or will they kick it? They'll move over. Looks like they're going to kick it. Bad snap. And because of that, everything obviously gets messed up with the timing. And really that time Sean Nolan had no chance. The snap dribbled along the ground.
Well, Crestwood's defense was coming in as Sean Grant tried to put the ball in the kicking block. So here's the touchdown play again. It's a rollout all the way. And I see the defensive back, Kazmarchuk, come up to respect Sean Grant rolling out. Leaves Marty Toth all alone in the end zone for the touchdown. Allen Park comes out to a 15-7 lead. Just over 11 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter.
So that drive started in the 3rd, ended in the 4th. 6 plays. They go 29 yards. And that coming after capitalizing on a fumbled snap by the Crestwood Chargers, and that fumble costs them in 6 points. So the question now becomes, who can stop who? Crestwood went 3 and out on their first possession of the second half, but their second possession, they went 75 yards in 6 plays. Which offense and which defense will show up for these two teams on this possession? Stick around and find out. I'm Bob Zahari along with Jay Strasser, Rick Chapo up here in the booth.
Well, the game is going to be in the hands of the Allen Park defense, as a touchdown and a 2-point conversion will tie this thing up at 15. They have to stop Crestwood.
Nolan drives it deep. Schroeder at the goal line again. Gets tackled. A big blast up high on the shoulder pads.
Jerry Kloss, number 62, a junior linebacker, 6 foot, 180 pounds, hustling down on special teams to make a fine hit, as Crestwood will start off first down and 10.
Look like he's right about to the 20. That's what we'll call it. First and 10 at the 20 for the Chargers.
Kloss hustling down on special teams, just hurling himself at Kazmarchuk, making a nice hit.
Pitch it back, Kazmarchuk get in the corner. Is he out of bounds? He didn't think so. Kazmarchuk thought maybe he broke it, as suddenly Kazmarchuk high-stepping back to the huddle. He's got that extra burst of energy.
Mike Isaac chased him out of bounds. Had a little help from Chris Manise, number 44 for Allen Park. Not before first down yardage. Allen Park will have to get some type of contain to keep these ball carriers from the outside.
Pick up a 13 on the play, Rick, and they'll have it first down and 10 at the 33-yard line. Kazmarchuk broke off a 50-yard run his last time they had the ball. Now they're going to Schroeder. Off left tackle, he'll pick up 3 or 4. Both teams may be getting a little bit tired. Josh Short limping out of there, you can see him. He's their defensive jaguar, which is basically a cross between a linebacker and a secondary player. You have to come up and force on the run. You also have to be able to drop back and cover the pass.
Let's go defense!
Second down, we're going to call it a short 7. They'll hand it to Kazmarchuk. He'll try to get outside, and he's not going to get much. Jags, with good pursuit, made the play on that one. And that's going to bring up third down 5.
Defensive leader that time was Tom Teetsorth, number 70 for Allen Park. Third down situation now for Crestwood. Had to expect a running play, though, Bob, from this point of the field, I would think. Allen Park looking to toughen up with that defensive line and linebacking core right now.
We're under 9.5 remaining here in the fourth quarter, 15-7. Allen Park leading Crestwood. And the question becomes for Floyd Carter, when do you go for it on fourth down? So far in this football game, he's played a game of field position. Earlier in this game, he punted in his own territory with fourth down and less than a yard. Third down and 5. Two-step drop, throw to the middle, nearly picked off by Isaac. I think he got a hand on that. So now that's going to bring up fourth down, and with plenty of time left, 9-12, would expect that the Chargers are going to boot it away.
That time trying to throw the ball over the middle towards Mike Kazmarchuk, and instead a punting situation now for Crestwood. But again, Allen Park, now they are going to be sending a safety back to have a look at this punt. Mickey Susky, number 23, dropping back for the Allen Park Jags. They will try to return this one.
Sean Schroeder will do the booting as Susky drops. A little bit of pressure put on Schroeder. And Susky will smother it. Fine job by Susky and not letting that thing get past him. And maybe a little bit dangerous, but he stops it from rolling another 15, 20 yards. Allen Park will take over good field position now, Rick, at the 32, and their defense did the job that time.
Well, they sure did. They held when they had to. That time, Susky, it's always dangerous when the punt return man is falling down and where the ball's going to hit the ground at the same time. Never know what's going to happen. That time, he jumped and caught it, short-hopped it off the grass. Allen Park, first down and 10. Any kind of a drive here resulting in points will put Crestwood in bad, bad shape.
They, being Crestwood, trail at 15-7. Allen Park with the football, and That time looked like Short got tripped up.
Possibly tripped over his own man, I believe, right as he was getting the handoff.
And he's down again. They might need to get him out of there. He's been limping for a while, and that time I think something happened in that backfield. I don't know if we can look at it again. Hopefully we'll get a chance to. I don't know if he tripped over Sean Grant's leg or what happened, but something went wrong just as he was receiving the ball in the backfield. He already did something to his leg earlier in this football game. He's been limping ever since, and that might have done it right there. Here it is.
Yeah, I believe he got tripped up on the foot of Sean Grant right as he was taking off, because he really didn't have contact with anything else besides that.
See it again as we